And he's the guy he's ended his career to come out and talk about this stuff because he's like this is nuts. Like this is, and if you're a real patriot, that's probably the thing you should do. And apparently, according to Sagar, he was talking about breaking points. The New York Times rejected this. The Washington Post rejected this. They didn't want to talk about it. This is the gentleman. So let's play this.
What do you mean? These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles. You know, call it spacecraft if you will. It's probably not the right parlance, but no kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
That's it. Where's the whole interview?
Probably that website.
See if you can find. Is that something you have to sign up for? What is it? What is it?
News Nation.
News Nation. Meanwhile, that might be a 100% government-controlled organization that just promotes propaganda. And that guy's working for them. You got to think about all these things.
I know.
News Nation. Who are these
Where
folks?
Chris Cuomo ended up.
Oh,
What
interesting.
channel it is.
He's their fucking centerpiece. Look at that.
Yes, he is.
He looks a little tanner than usual.
Can we save ourselves from ourselves, Joe? To go back to the humanity sliding towards the brink?
It's possible.
Oh, here's the 10-minute interview.
Okay, let's hear this guy.
What do you want? How much?
Just play it. Let's just see what's up.
Military program that has reportedly found wreckage of fully intact exclusive internet.
On the UFO question.
What conclusion did you come to at
Well,
He might be.
I'm fascinated.
Agent. He might be a government agent.
Well, to unpack that a little bit, so there are. I can only speak to it from a military perspective. So he was in the Air Force. There are programs, they're covered programs, or there are programs that you're not going to get read into. And just because you're read into one program doesn't mean you're going to get read into other ones. So his clearance, TSSCI, is not an uncommon one. It's the same clearance that I held that I was in. Having a clearance, there's two things, right? You have to have the clearance and then you have to have the need to know. So you could view him saying we were not read into another program as something that would be conspiratorial, or you could view it as like one program didn't necessarily have something to do with the other one, so there's no need to actually read them in. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm fascinated to understand. It sounds like what he is saying is that the United States military is nesting that program, the program to go recover, and I would be fascinated to know how they are doing that invisibly. I mean, we're talking aircraft. We're talking identification early on, aircraft moving teams, and this. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shit.
Right.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
But there are people that are coming forward, so it's not like they're totally being quiet, which is sort of
they're coming
line
forward with
human
a piece.
nature.
They're coming forward with a piece of a pie. I'd be fascinated how all the pieces of the pie fed together. I'm not saying what he's saying isn't true, but watching that actually, for me, with my limited understanding of some of the stuff he was talking about, I have more questions that I would want to ask him.
Yeah, I would want to ask him too. We got to get him. Got to get him on here.
I bet he would come on here.
I'm just kind of going fucking.
I feel like though
the hell it is.
I feel
News
like
Nation.
He went on a tour. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't he contact us?
I think you might get more circular answers.
Maybe he did.
Probably asked too many fucking questions.
You might get more.
Ooh, maybe I asked too many questions. Maybe the word I get him
You
high.
ask good questions though. Is he still in? I might not even matter. I don't even know if they probably allow weed in the current military. You might get more circular answers than specific ones. If you look at the answers that he was giving, and again, I'm not trying to discount what he's saying. And I personally, like I have said many times, I think it's improbable that we're alone. He was speaking in generalities and not specifics. He was talking about other people's experiences, less his own.
Yes, that's a good point. And that's what my question would be. What have you seen?
Yeah.
What have you seen physically with your own eyes?
Yeah.
What have you touched? What do you know for a fact?
And again, I'm not saying he hasn't had those experiences, but I would ask those same questions as well. And it's just from my understanding of how the military will compartmentalize, as all organizations who actually want to keep information, or at least delay the release of information. Compartmentalization is not a novel concept.
Well, that's what Bob Lazar said was the problem with the back engineering program. He said that science can't exist like that in a vacuum, and the propulsion experts were not allowed to talk to the metallurgists. The metallurgy experts were not allowed to talk to the biology experts. He said if they really did have physical bodies, the people that were working on the propulsion system had no knowledge of that, weren't allowed to talk about it. But they were all there was all chatter. everyone would talk about things. And apparently there was some sort of a debriefing they gave them. And in that debriefing, he said it was so nuts. He said, first of all, they said they've been coming here forever. And they also said that we're a product of accelerated evolution, which is wild as fuck.
Yeah.
That human beings in general, why we are so different from all the other primates. I mean, that's always been the fucking conspiracy theory folklore. That's the fun one. You know, is that they came down. That's the Anunnaki that came down here and messed around with lower primate DNA and did something to it to create a human being.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
That would make everything fun. And then I would think that the government would want stuff like this to come out if they're in the middle of like stealing money or doing something really wild.
Oh, the classic misdirection?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you're going to take something that gets rid of a certain amendment, or you're going to do something that allows you to infringe on rights or to impose some new sort of restrictions. And
Bring the aliens out.
yeah, bring the aliens out.